Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Tourism plays an important role in global economy, and there are countries who are doing great in this sector. Indonesia from southeastern region is one of those countries who are putting in lots of effort to improve their tourism sector and provide great destination to the tourists. We are lucky to have with us the Deputy Minister Marketing, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia. Thank you, Ibu Made, to be our guest.
So glad that the journalists from Pakistan are here today to see by yourself Bali as destination. Also, actually, it's not only Bali. We have 17,508, if I'm not mistaken, islands in Indonesia that offer variety, beautiful places and culture as a big part of it, as a backbone of our tourism and creative economy. So for us, these three things, let me emphasize again, we have to be adaptive, we have to be innovative, and lastly, we have to be collaborative, work together with everybody to achieve target that we have. You know, we have target this year, like foreign tourist arrival, we have set 8.5 million tourists. So far, up to April data, because we have lag, right? We have already 3.2 million. So we're quite happy, and I believe everyone is very bullish about the prospect. Hopefully we can achieve that.
It's good to know that you are meeting your targets. Ibu Made, being the Deputy Minister Marketing, what is the scope of tourism you see in Indonesia?
As Deputy Minister of Marketing, let me just say about the scope of tourism. Of course, promoting destination is one thing. Secondly, don't forget, behind that destination, behind the tourism is the human resources, the people, the manpower, human resources. This is very important. That's why when we talk about tourism, we also talk about hospitality, people behind it. And that's why the ministry now are not only creating the school for this hospitality, but also educate the people so they are ready to serve the demand that post-COVID is very high. This is important. Thirdly, let's talk about economy. The tourism brings, of course, foreign exchange. If it is like for his international arrival, for example. Domestically, when domestic tourists visiting one another, they create jobs, they create economic power. You spend, you go and spend for accommodation, the food, restaurant, so that's a big part of it. Thirdly, policy. How can we create a policy that support, that make tourism flourish and develop, for example? For example, post-COVID, during COVID, the policy that how can tourists can come but safe at the same time. This is a sort of a policy or regulation that we issue. Visa, for example, we work a lot with other ministry in this regard, the DG for immigration, for example, to create a seamless experience for tourists to come. And also about destination, how can we create the destination it's safe, clean, and also sustainable? And this is something that's very important also, sustainable tourism. So I think those are some areas that we take into account when we talk about tourism.
Right. Ibu Made, whenever people talk about Indonesia, the first destination that comes to mind is Bali. But I know there is a lot more Indonesia can offer to the tourists. Are you working on new destinations?
This is the government's strategy, because tourism is the backbone, one of the most important backbone in the economy, because you give back directly to the society. So Bali for 100 years proven and maintained to be number one, like top of mind for everyone in the world. So we think, hey, we have more than that. We have to promote it. We have to tell the world that we have more, what we call it New Bali, right? So the 5 super priority that we trying to promote for the past year is number 1, on the north tip of Sumatra, Danau Toba or Lake Toba. This is the biggest lake, volcanic lake in the world. And now to attract people, to attract tourists domestically and internationally to come, we have an event over there. Just last year, this year actually in February we host F1 Formula race, yeah, and then hopefully next year we also going to host one, because I think this is great and there are a lot of things that we can explore in North Sumatra or in Danau Toba or Lake Toba. Secondly, let's move to Java. There is the biggest Buddhist temple in Yogyakarta, Central Java, whereby in 7th century, whereby it's been known for hundreds of years, and there are a lot of pilgrims come and visit, and this is part of the a lot of researchers also come, and a beautiful place. And not only Jogja or Borobudur, around the temple there are a lot of villages that offer unique and one-of-a-kind experience in the village, and this is something, one of the flagship programs at the ministry that we want to promote. Next to Bali, there is an island called Lombok, and in Lombok there is a new circuit. We call it Circuit Mandalika, whereby MoToGP is located and being held every year. We would like to invite, because I think in the future, event like this, like sport tourism, is going to be big, and already with this pent-up tourism or demand, people are coming from all over the world and in Indonesia as well to see the new thing, what Indonesia has to offer. Next to it is Labuan Bajo. If you know the Komodo dragons, this is the home for Komodo dragon. What we call it, the only prehistoric quote-unquote Jurassic Park. I would like you to hopefully can visit Labuan Bajo, and there are a lot of development there, a lot of new resort, beautiful resort, underwater diving, snorkeling, fresh food, fresh seafood in Labuan Bajo. Lastly, this is quite virgin, still basic, but attract a lot of tourists who love diving again and beach. What we call Likupang in north of Sulawesi, north of close to Manado. So these are the 5 new super priority or key priorities destination in Indonesia.
Very interesting, especially the F1 Formula and Mandalika circuit. Ibu Made, as you know, Pakistan and Indonesia shares lots of similarities. Both have big populations. What are your plans to encourage and increase the bilateral relations between Indonesia and Pakistan in context of tourism? What about the flight connectivity? Because so far there is no direct flight from Pakistan to Indonesia. What are your future plans in this regard?
Yes, thank you. This is very important questions. Yeah, I agree with you. Pakistan, Indonesia bilaterally have very, very strong bonds, like way before, during our independence. Our 2 presidents, our founding father and your founding father, I think had very good relationship. The Pakistani, and they talk about Sukarno, President Sukarno, and vice versa. Really close bonding, yeah. Culturally, religious relations, we are very close as well. And now in modern times, we have trade a lot of product from Indonesia in Pakistan, and we would like also to trade a lot with Indonesia. Now, let's talk about tourism. This is the area that we need to work on even more. People-to-people relationship is very important. If we want to build a bridge, and this is it. And I think you're right in saying that connectivity is the key for people to people. And it is indeed, at the moment, there is no direct flight. Yeah. Now we're using organically, flights connecting Pakistan, Indonesia, but hopefully soon we can work on this. But I think the key is, because this is business, is demand. Yeah. If there is high demand, there will be supply. And let's create that demand. I hope with your presence here, you can write about Indonesia. So seeing is believing. So in the eyes, through your eyes, the Pakistanis can see Indonesia, not only Bali, but beyond Bali. So then they can come and visit, and vice versa. And by that, hopefully there will be flights, direct flights connecting the 2 countries. But I am, as the Deputy Minister for Marketing, really adamant to make this happen. And I will work with your my counterpart in Pakistan as well.
Absolutely right. The people of both brotherly countries, Indonesia and Pakistan, respect and love each other a lot. The cultural side of Indonesia is indeed very important, but what about modern, technologically advanced, and digitally transformed Indonesia? What is your plan to brand Indonesia as a technological advanced country?
Yes, true. Indonesia has very strong culture, and through this culture, we want to tell the world that modern Indonesia. So for the past years, since 2006, 7, we created what we call creative economy or creative industry as one of the strengths backbone in Indonesia economy. There are 17 subsectors under that creative economy industry. For example, film, movies, performance, music, what else? Poetry, media, animation, and so on and so forth. And these are based on culture, yeah, traditional culture or modern culture. So again, when we talk about creative economy, you have to be creative, you have to be innovative. This mix blend between traditional and creativity, it becomes a new creative economy, and we are happy to say there are around 24 million, almost 24 million people working this under this creative economy sector, including what we call micro, small enterprises. So yes, if you, I don't know if you've been to Jakarta, if you see Jakarta like any other modern city of the world, very advanced. And then don't forget, Indonesia has the young population, yeah, in terms of demographic, yeah, and they are very technology savvy. Social media, one of the highest and the biggest in the world at the moment, and they are very active. We are very active, and this project Indonesian development, telling the world because there is no barriers anymore about Indonesia, and we are very proud of it.
Your Excellency, halal industry is $1 trillion market. What measures your ministry is taking to assure halal tourism in Indonesia?
On that note, let me just say that just last week, the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, His Excellency Sandiaga Uno, received an award, yeah, on behalf of Indonesian government. Indonesia is the number one halal tourism destination in the world, number one, just last week. So we are very happy. Why? Why Indonesia is chosen as number one? Because we improve for the past years, yeah, even during COVID, improve in terms of infrastructure, amenities, and Lombok, you're right in saying that we are creating this ecosystem that to make it easier and comfortable for those who need halal tourism to be there. So, for example, the food is halal. They have place for worship, for example, so they can pray, and also the ecosystem that create for that. So we are very proud, and but of course we want to improve a lot. And I think the whole part of Indonesia needs also be developed that way. So hopefully we can maintain the status not only 1 year but and beyond also. You know.
That is great, and congratulations for the award. We wish you best of luck for the next year. Ibu Made, my next question is about economy. To make things sustainable, investment is too important. What are the investment opportunity you are offering to domestic and foreign investors?
Okay, very important question. Yes, investment is a big part of the success of tourism. So in Indonesia, we created what we call special economic zones for tourism. We have around 8 in Indonesia and 1 in Bali. There is close here, not so far from here in Sanur, where we create a special economic zone for health tourism, medical tourism. And in other part of Indonesia as well, we have even the unit or special unit that taking care of it to invite investor from all over the world, including for Pakistan. We want to open this, and there are a lot of opportunities because the trajectory of growth that we see is very high. So We would like to invite, for example, in Lombok, in Mandalika, in Lombok Mandalika, in Likupang, in Labuan Bajo, in Toba, in Central Java, Borobudur, for example, and any other part of Indonesia. So this is something that we would like to have an open arm policy to make it easy for investors to come. And I hope one day we see more and more Pakistani investors come and be part of Indonesian growth story.
My last question, Ibu Made, what do you think is the role of media when we talk about people-to-people engagements and people-to-people connections in two countries? And what is your message to Pakistani media?
Okay, the role of media is very strategic. Yeah, through media, as I said earlier, in terms of tourism, for example, without media, who would thought there's some beauty destination, the people, the culture destination over there. So media can tell the world through your medium, social media, printed media, TV, radio, and so on and so forth about this. I think I have a high hope that media can also be part of the ecosystem that can tell the story that inspire people to travel, inspire people to be responsible tourists. This is very important, yeah, because we do need, if we travel, we do need to respect local culture, yeah, where we are or where we visit. And this is something that I have the high hope for the media. Also, education part of it, advocation, education, socialization, of course, promotion at the end of the day. So lastly, for Pakistani media who's here today and also who's at home, I would love you to be part of the growing story together with Indonesia, because we have great relationship for decades, and I think the future we can be powerhouse. Pakistan with the big population, Indonesia 275. I think you have 200. Imagine almost half a billion of people living in these two countries. We can work together. We are the members of many international organizations. Our people quite familiar one to another, and the food. This is very important. Culinary. I think I love Pakistani food. I just had a dinner last night at the ambassador of Pakistan, which happened to be my dear friend, invited me and my husband to try the culinary of Pakistan, and I feel like home. You know, the taste is very similar, and I can have that. And similarly, also Pakistani. I think the soft diplomacy through tourism, through culinary is really strategic, and let's just promote that so that our two countries, despite the distance, is not an excuse. I think visiting Indonesia from Pakistan and vice versa, visiting Pakistan from Indonesia, need to be encouraged for that.
Deputy Minister Marketing, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, Republic of Indonesia, thank you for your time, and it's a pleasure talking to you.